In this video, I'm going through the 5 surefire signs that I completely ignored that were the reason why I landed myself in a mental health clinic. So the first of these is that you begin to resent everything. You resent yourself for feeling this way. You resent other people around you for not having the same type of experience. You resent anything that is happening around you. So anyone that is enjoying themselves, that becomes a sense of resentment. You resent your work, you resent your partner. Any form of resentment that you can think of, that starts to build up. And you don't always know why this is happening, but this is just a surefire way of telling you that if you are not happy with yourself, then it starts to show up in all of these other things around you. And because you're in it at the moment, you're not exactly going to know that these are the signs that are being thrown at you. But when you do start noticing these things, that you do start resenting things around you, then that's one sign that you need to start paying attention to. The next is that you cannot make decisions. Any decisions, it doesn't matter how small. So your friends and family, your colleagues will all start getting irritated with you because you just can't decide. You can't decide what you want to eat on the menu. You can't decide what you're going to have for dinner. You can't decide your shopping list, which hairdresser to go to. Not that I need one, but you get the point. Anything that you need to decide on becomes this major decision for you. And the reason is because you're already so overburdened in the first place that you struggle to make a decision because you don't have enough available resources. So when you find yourself just spinning and not being able to make a decision, that's the second one that you need to start taking account of. Then it is that exhaustion that I explained, where sleep doesn't even fix it. You can sleep the entire weekend, hopefully you don't, but that's how tired you are, and you might feel physically rested, but you still are extremely exhausted. And obviously downtime for normal people would be on a Friday, and you'd sort of have the weekend to catch up. You'd be lying in, sleeping in, but come Sunday and Monday's around the corner, you're still going to be exhausted. You just aren't able to catch up this deficit that you've got, and you remain exhausted and flat. There's nothing that you can do, and it is just, it continues on this path where there's no amount of sleep that can assist you to get your energy back. The fourth one, and this is probably the biggest one, is that you begin snapping at everything. Everything irritates you. It doesn't matter what it is. If it is someone chewing loudly, breathing loudly, the dog's nails tapping on the floor, I don't know, just anything. If you're in the queue at the grocery shop, traffic jams, everything starts to work on your nerves. And that's because you are so completely depleted that you've got no bounce back. There's nothing. Normally you'd have this form of resilience where something could happen and you'd have a shock absorber where you would be able to absorb it and deal with it and slowly process it. Yes, you still get irritated by things, but not at this level. This is almost as if the guardrails have been taken off, and every single impact, you feel it immediately. And that is the biggest one. So what happened to me, and the reason I ended up checking myself into the clinic in the first place, is because my wife and I had been fighting. It was ongoing all the time. And being the hot-blooded Italian that she is, she basically told me to stuff off. And if I don't sort my things out, that she's going to divorce me. That's how bad it was. So with that in mind, obviously, a kick in the pants, then I was forced to check myself in, and if it wasn't for that, I don't think I would have made it through. But thanks to that, that was sort of the start of my healing journey. But that is how bad it got with the amount of snapping and irritability that I was experiencing. And then the fifth and final one, and maybe everyone has got these now and then anyway, but it is sort of escape fantasies. You just literally want to pack up and just leave. So the things that I would think of is, wouldn't it be nice to just sell everything, get a tent and go live in the forest? It sounds stupid, but that's how much you want to escape the reality that you're in, or getting a van, packing up and, I don't know, cavorting around the world. And it is these things, because you are in such a state of angst and exhaustion, that your body is trying to figure out a way out. And the only way out is this total collapse and breakdown. So when you put all of these 5 things together, that you're so exhausted that you can't get enough sleep, that you're snapping at everyone, you just resent being around people, around yourself, you're not happy with anything, you can't make any decisions, and if push came to shove, you would just go out into the wilderness and live on your own, then the culmination of all of these things is pointing you in that one direction, that you are at the point of overload and it is coming to the point of breakdown. It might not look the same for you, but that is the direction in which it's going. So if you start feeling these symptoms, then you need to start doing introspective work, and that's when you need to start fixing yourself. And in the next video, I'm going to go through some tools and tricks that I learned when I was in the mental clinic. Those things helped me a ton. Like I said in the previous video, that it is not easy, because when you're in this thing, it is so deep that adding stuff that you now need to think of and physically cope with, these new learning mechanisms, it is going to be hard work, but I can guarantee you that if you start putting in the work, even if it's very, very small things, slowly but surely you're going to be able to climb your way out. So please look out for the next one.